let's just jump right in. For literally thousands of years, people have been using plants for healing. And you might think of it as an ancient tradition, but in our modern world of high-tech medicine, herbal remedies are, believe it or not, more relevant than ever. So today, we're going to uncover the fascinating science behind how these medicinal plants actually work.
Okay, to get started, here's a number that might actually surprise you. At least a quarter, 25% of all the conventional medicines you'd find at a pharmacy are derived directly from plants. Yeah, that's right. 1 in 4 of our most advanced drugs started out not in some sterile lab, but in a forest or a field.
So that gets you thinking, right? If modern medicine is so good at pulling out specific chemicals from plants to make our drugs, why does traditional herbalism insist on using the whole plant? How does that even work? Well, that's the big question we're going to dive into. To get our answer, we first have to really understand the deep, surprising connection between plants and modern medicine. Because you see, a lot of our most powerful drugs are really just single, highly concentrated chemicals that were first discovered inside medicinal plants. I mean, just look at these examples. Digoxin, a really critical heart medication, it comes from the foxglove plant. Morphine, one of the most powerful painkillers we have, that's from the opium poppy. Quinine, the original game changer for treating malaria, was pulled from the cinchona tree. Heck, even the contraceptive pill was first developed using compounds found in wild yam. We are, in so many ways, a planet that truly runs on plant chemistry.
So, how do scientists even find these little miracle molecules? Well, they look for what are called a plant's active constituents. And this is the scientific key to understanding how a plant can have any kind of medicinal effect on our bodies.
To put it simply, active constituents are kind of like the chemical powerhouses inside the plant. They are the specific compounds that interact with our biology and actually cause a change, whether that's fighting off bacteria, calming inflammation, or blocking pain signals. And this right here is a perfect illustration. The opium poppy, it's beautiful, but it contains these alkaloids like morphine and codeine. So when scientists isolate just the morphine, they get this incredibly potent, really targeted painkiller. It's a straight line from the plant's chemistry to a very specific medical result. And this approach, this magic bullet idea, isolating one chemical to solve one problem, that is the absolute foundation of the modern pharmaceutical industry. It's powerful, it's precise, and it's what really separates a modern drug from a traditional herbal remedy. But, and this is a big but, here's where things get really interesting. Herbalism makes the case that a plant's true power isn't in a single magic bullet at all, but in the synergy of all its parts working together. As the source material says, trying to understand an herb by just looking at its individual chemicals, well, it's like trying to understand a beautiful symphony by just listening to each instrument play one single note all by itself. You totally lose the bigger picture, you lose the harmony. The source gives us a perfect analogy for this. Think of a watch. You can take a watch apart and identify every single tiny gear and spring. But just staring at that pile of parts isn't going to tell you how the watch actually keeps time. The magic is in how they all interact. And it's the exact same idea for a plant.
Now for a really mind-blowing example of this in action, just look at Chinese rhubarb. At a low dose, its tannins are the star players, and they help stop diarrhea. But at a high dose, a totally different set of compounds, the anthraquinones, take over and have a laxative effect. The same plant has opposite effects, just depending on the dose. You would never figure that out by just isolating one of its chemicals.
So this whole plant philosophy means that herbs aren't just aimed at a single symptom. A lot of the time, they're about supporting entire body systems, helping them get back into balance and find their own way to health. And this slide gives you a little snapshot of how that works. For your digestive system, you've got bitter herbs like wormwood that get the digestive juices flowing. For respiratory health, something like elecampane helps clear out mucus. Of course, we all know echinacea for helping out the immune system. And for the nervous system, you've got adaptogens like ginseng that help the body better handle stress. It's like a holistic toolkit for your entire body.
Okay, but with all this incredible power comes a whole lot of responsibility. These plants are potent, and our demand for them has some serious consequences, not just for our own health, but for the planet too.
First things first, let's talk safety. This is so important. Always talk to a qualified professional for any serious health problems. Never go over the recommended dose. Make sure you check for any interactions with other medications you're on. And of course, be absolutely certain you've correctly identified the plant. These steps are non-negotiable.
And that brings us
to the health of the planet. There is this powerful cautionary tale from history. Back in ancient Rome, there was an herb called Silphion. It was apparently so effective and so popular as a contraceptive that people literally harvested it into extinction. It is gone, forever.
And please don't think this is just some ancient history lesson. It's happening right now. Today, a North American plant called golden seal is endangered in the wild, purely because of overharvesting to meet commercial demand. Our desire for these natural remedies is actually putting the future of the remedies themselves at risk.
So where does that leave us? Well, science is finally starting to unlock the secrets that traditional healers have known about for centuries. The real challenge for us now is to figure out how to use all this incredible knowledge wisely, for the health of ourselves, yes, but also for the health of our planet, to make sure these natural gifts are still here for the generations to come.